So hello, here we are on the 20th of February. I'm in the workshop on my own today, mainly because I'm just getting back into blowing glass. Some of you may know I had a little bit of a tumble over the new year and did a bit of damage to my ribs and a few other things. So I'm getting back into it slowly. So I'm making a blue confetti tumbler today. My aim is, sad this, I've only got to make 10 today. I made 5 yesterday, it's 10 today. And it hurts. But it does give me a chance to make it slowly and talk you through it. So, here we are. Blowing iron, hot blowing iron. I think everyone got the general idea. Furnace over here, full of glass. So here's a gatherer glass. So it's been a funny old start to the year, what with round here the flooding, which we haven't flooded. All the different agencies around here seem to be working together very well. And the pumping station that I can see out my window, I can now look on the computer and check what level it is, which is brilliant because you can then work out how high the building is, etc., etc. And so as against 12 years ago when we all panicked a lot about it and no one knew quite when it was going to stop or what was going to happen, this year everyone seems to have been very calm and seems to be very well managed. And that's not to say a big shout out to people who have been flooded, just disaster area, but we haven't. And although the river is high and going like a train at the moment, I don't think we're worried about it, although we've left the flood barriers up because it would be stupid not to. So we are still open for business and the car park is still usable. So here's the tumbler. I've just put the colour on it, which are the chips of colour there, just on the bottom. So the design of this tumbler is the colour is only on the bottom. It's a blue confetti tumbler. So I'm just getting it all on centre, so that means it's all on line with the iron. That's a pad of wet newspaper. I'm going to put some air in it, and that's the bit that hurts. And I got my thumb over the end. So what happens is the air expands as it gets hot, and the bubble is now growing in the piece at the end, because that's the only place it can grow, because my thumb's on the end. Take my thumb off, it'll stop growing. Now, because I'm doing these slowly, I'm going to go and reheat now. And I must say, having had 7 weeks off, it's quite difficult to get back into it. In some ways, you know, we all think it'd be lovely to have 7 weeks off, but it's not been too good, especially the first few weeks, but we're all right now. So I've heated the whole thing up, keeping it on centre. I'm just going to shape it with the paper a bit and then blow gently down the piece. And make sure it's all completely on centre. So if you look now, you can see the bubble is down to here, but the base is still quite thick. And the colour, you can see the colour on there, is blue. It's all blues, different blues and greens. But when it's hot, a lot of them look orange and yellows, so you can't tell exactly what the colours are when you're making the piece. So I'm heating the whole thing up here, which makes it very wobbly, and I'm going to blow it a bit more. Now, everyone wants their tumblers to be the same size closely. So this is my little bit of MDF, which I've cut out. So this is the length of the tumbler. So I'm measuring it from my cut-in line. And then I've got the width of the tumbler on the same bit of MDF. So there's the length and there's the width. Now, I don't get too wound up with them all being slightly different, but I do like them to be all close. So I've finished blowing this now. This is just a bit of chalk, and I'm putting a circle around the bottom of the piece here, which you should be able to see there. So when I'm making it on my own, this is just a little bit of help, so I get the punting on centre. So I have a knocking off box here, a couple of bearings on the top, just got a wet file, and I'm just going to file round the necking in line. And then I'm knocking it off. Flip that round, and you can just see the circle here, which I'm going to attach the punty to. So the punty is just made on a solid steel rod. Gather a little bit of glass on the end of it. And I'm just making a little button punty for these. So I'm holding the glass up, and I'm just going to, as I marble it, I'm going to push it away so I've got a little bit of glass left on the end of the iron. There. And this, I've got to attach to the bottom of my piece in the middle, and that's where my circle comes in. So I've now picked it up, there's the knocking off hole, and we're going to heat that up. So if I get the punty iron too hot, the whole piece will start wobbling on the bottom. So the aim is to only get the top of it, where the hole is, hot enough to open up, which hopefully you'll see in just a second. So I don't want to go in and out on the punty, but I need to keep the punty hot enough that it's not going to just drop off. And with my current blowing these things very slowly, I have to give it a little flash to keep it hot. So now I've got the top of the piece hot, and I'm going to open these up in two instead of one today. So I'm going to flatten the top with the back of my jacks, stick both blades in, gently just ease that hole out a bit, make sure it's flat. So now you can see the hole is that wide. So that means if I carried on opening this with the jacks, I get very, very faint lines around the top of the piece. They're called maker's lines, and some people really like them on hand-blown glass. They're a way of showing a provenance that it's actually made by hand. But I tend to now use, on my second opening, I use a pair of Teflon rods I'm using. You can use wood and you can use paper. I generally use Teflon. So I'm just going to make sure the outside's straight, put both rods in, and you can see at this temperature the glass is very pliable. And I'm going to put them on the outside again and just straighten the outside. Now I know I need to make it come out just very slightly. So if I make it straight, it'll look like it goes in. And there's the finished tumbler. That has to go away and cool down slowly, which is behind the camera. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching.